sir.
Goswami.
Hi.
Would it be possible to have Richard's presentation which he had played today?
We can ask Sana.
Okay.
Yeah, Sana.
Not today, even a week after when we reach
Sure,
our
sure, sure,
destination.
sure,
We
sure.
will write
Please
to
write to me.
Richard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Richard's.
Hello. Hello. Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if this mic is working. Could I please request you to get back into the hall? We are already delayed for our next session. Ladies and gentlemen, could I please request you to join us back? Not working. I don't think this is working. I think I've shrieked enough for the day, and a lot of people have heard that as well. So without wasting any other time and energies in doing that, where is... Okay, so I now invite our next speaker for the day. If you search our next speaker online, then this is what the first link says: the Paris lawyer who gives Google nightmares. And I'll let you find out for yourself what that really means. But for now on, I invite on stage Dan Sheffert, founder, Association for Accountability and Internet Democracy. He's going to be talking about hate speech and the obligations of teachers to educate students in consideration of the moral and regulatory framework. Over to you, Dan.
Hello. Well, hello, everybody. Lovely being back. Well, last year, I see so many friendly faces, you know. Almost feel like I'm at home here. So be warned, I may be back next year. The last year that I was here, I spoke about the essential skill. Do you remember? The essential skill was critical inquiry. It was teaching our children to be irritating, to have their own opinions, and to question everything. What I'm going to talk about today is maybe a bit more serious. It's hate speech. Hate speech and the role of education in hate speech. Now, this morning, I made the mistake that I make every day, which is watching the news. And on BBC, there was this story, and you know, if it was a script for a movie, you wouldn't have believed that it was true, but it is true. So there was this leadership in this country. They were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. And now they stand on trial before the International Criminal Court for genocide. Right? You know what I'm talking about. Who would have imagined that? What happened? What went wrong? So this is a bit of what I'm going to talk about. Now, I think I have to use this one. This you've seen a million times, but I think it's more pertinent now than for any other speech that you will hear. Unfortunately, it's the original first version, which only talks about men, not women. I apologize, but that's the way it was phrased. This is the only chart which would be in French, I promise you. The reason that I have this chart is that I've actually been working on the French hate speech bill, which passed the National Assembly in July, which is now pending before the Senate, and which will hopefully come into effect by the 1st of January or maybe just a bit later. And what it says, well, all that you need to see is the trend. These are hate speech crimes that were reported to the special police agency that deals with that in terms of hate speech on social media. And you can see on the pie chart, you can see anti-Semitism, ethnic origin, xenophobia, religion, anti-Muslim, and so on. Even if you don't understand French, you can see the trend. Let's look at another one. This is hate crimes in Canada. very, very, very clear 2017, very, very, very clear rise in hate crimes. Look at the US. I don't know what's wrong with Portland, Oregon, but look at that. Let's move on this one. Canadian hate crime incidents by group. It's exploding. It's exploding all over the world. Jews, anti-Semitism, Muslim, black, LGBT. This is in the UK. I promise you I won't show you more statistics right now, but the trend is very clear. Hate crimes are exploding all over the world. I was actually asking myself the other day, and unfortunately we don't have time for that debate here, but as a rhetorical question to the audience, can animals hate? Are animals capable of entertaining the emotion of hatred? I looked into it, and I think that the answer is no. We are the only beings on Earth that are capable of hating. Animals, they can defend themselves, they have a strong territorial imperative, they even have a sense of revenge. But hatred? No, they can't. So I thought that what we should do is agree that what really sets us humans apart from the rest of the animal kingdom is not, as one usually says, Homo sapiens, right, that we are rational beings. We are not rational beings. We've known that for quite some years now. We are very emotional. But maybe the right term is not Homo sapiens, but Homo odiens. The only being on Earth that is capable of hatred. I just hope that with AI, we will never create a machine that is capable of hatred. The first challenge is, of course, creating a machine that's funny. And that's going to be the first really important challenge. But hatred, I hope never. Let's realize it, all of us in this room, we are the only species on Earth that is capable of hatred. Now, what do we do about it? So there are different solutions. One is religion. Sorry to say that terrible crimes have been committed throughout centuries in the name of religion. And they continue to be. But this is not just for religion, this is also meditation. I would suggest very strongly that in terms of the class curricula, that we include meditation. I'll get back to that a bit later. That's a very, very strong weapon. Let's return to the classroom. Another way of dealing with hatred is art. This is taken from a book about the Rohingya crisis. An artist in Bangladesh. I participated in a project there. And it really says a lot, this image, but it may not be enough. But art can help us realize what hatred really means. This one is lovely. Humor. Humor is a fantastic weapon. And I'll tell you a story about this one. So I think it was about 2008 or something like that. And I have to tell you, it was an Iranian contest. And please, I don't want to offend any Iranians in the room here. I just want to make a point. There was an Iranian newspaper in 2008, again, I think that's the year, that came out with this contest to make the worst cartoons making fun of the Holocaust. I mean, talk about bad taste. But they did it. So there was this Israeli newspaper, and they decided to say, we're going to do better than you. We will show you that we are much better than you are at making fun of ourselves. Look at that. And the Israeli newspaper actually won the contest of making the worst cartoons about themselves. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that fantastic? Using humor. How are you going to argue? This is a verbal knockout. You will never rise from that. Humor is such an important weapon. Law. Hate speech and law. I mentioned that in France we have this hate speech law, and I should also mention, well, I hope we will have it in January. We have it in Germany since the 1st of January 2017. Problem with hate speech laws today is that they tend to focus on social media. And again, all the ills of the universe cannot be attributed to the internet, cannot be attributed to Facebook and their likes. They are responsible for a lot, but not everything. The laws, unfortunately, are limited to the control of hate speech on social media. The real culprit is, of course, not the social media. The real culprit is the author of the hateful, or as I call it, the toxic content. And here the problem is anonymity. I'm sure that if you had to give identification papers on yourself when you open an account on Facebook and Twitter and the rest of them, you would see toxic content, especially hate speech, if not disappear, well, substantially reduced. The argument for allowing to be anonymous is, of course, that in some regimes, anonymity is deemed to be an integral part of free speech, and this is the challenge that we're up against. So these laws are really trying to balance free speech against toxic content, which has these terrible consequences. It's an extremely difficult exercise in law, and I can tell you I've practiced this for a number of years. It's very, very, very difficult to say whether specific content, unless it's manifestly illicit, but that's not often the case, whether specific content should be taken down or not. So law is just one way, but it's not enough. Education. Now, education is really the only true way that we can deal with, unfortunately, this curse that we have as humans as being the only species on Earth endowed or cursed with the ability to hate. Educators really have a very, very, very important task to perform. And let me just show you here. I've taken that, Roy, thank you very much, from the platform that is being developed here by the MGIEP, which actually already talks about emotional learning. You've heard that throughout the conference here, and others will speak about emotional learning. Emotional learning is really not just learning through emotions, but also learning about your emotions. There are 5 emotions that have been identified in the program so far: joy, sadness, anger, disgust, fear. And by working through this program, this education program, you will be confronted with situations where you will have to realize that these emotions are in you, and maybe also, to a certain extent, control these emotions. You see that hatred is not on here. And I think that's pretty good, because we don't want programs to create hatred in our children. So we need to deal with it in an indirect fashion. This is what I really love. Last year, I very strongly recommended that in terms of critical thinking, we should have debates every morning in the classroom from first grade. You remember that? The essential skill. Children of 6 or 7 can be perfectly irritating, and they can really debate if you let them. And at school, every day there should be a debate. Just half an hour. More important than math and history and anything else. Debate. I would say, I mentioned before meditation. I think that should also be part of the school curriculum. But I would say this. This is taken from the program that this organization will shortly be putting out for all of you to use, and I highly recommend that you use it in education, which is the dilemma. Now, the beauty about dilemmas, as opposed to paradoxes, is that there is no true or false solution. Actually, there's no solution to a dilemma. A dilemma is a choice. You have to choose. And the important thing about having to choose is that you are accountable for your choice. Suddenly you have to assume responsibility for going right or going left. And our children should be educated in assuming that responsibility, in understanding the consequences of their choices, The daily dilemma. Now, this is one of them. The trolley problem, again, is taken from this platform, which I hope will be available very soon. So you are supposed to be in charge of either switching this train so it goes right or left, and as you see, either you'll be causing the death of Charlie Chaplin or of a number of innocent people working on the railway. And there could be a big debate. I actually saw a prototype version of this, and I saw the children responding to this dilemma. What do you do if you are in charge of this decision? Would you rather save the life of Charlie Chaplin, somebody who made a major contribution to culture and really influenced the way that people were thinking for many, many years? Take some of his most important movies, and you will see how that really influenced a whole generation. But it's only one person. Or would you rather save the life of these 5 persons? Is quantity the only thing that matters? And if we talk about quality of human life, how do we rate that quality? Did Charlie Chaplin have more quality as a human than these 5? And what if it was children? You see, this kind of dilemma is what we need in school every day. After the half-hour debate, after the meditation, the dilemma, the daily dilemma. Discuss it, find out, make your choice. Don't let the children off the hook. They have to decide. If we do that every day, we will instill this feeling of responsibility and accountability, which hopefully will be a shield against hate speech and indoctrination. There is another tool that we can that we can offer our educators to use. I mentioned humor, but before I go to that, the last section, I'll say that there is something very, very, very dangerous about correlations, artificial intelligence, big data. Sorry, Harry. You probably know that I'm of the opinion that science no longer exists. It's dead. The only thing that we have today is correlations. Our cosmology today has been reduced to probabilities. It's not quantum physics, it's just the way we think today. If A, then it's most probable that we'll have B and not C. Okay, that may be true, that may not be true, depending on the data we put into the machine, how much data we have, how pure that data is, who actually decided the algorithm that crunches the data, and so on. So we come up with a correlation. And we believe that's the truth. Okay. It doesn't satisfy me in terms of epistemology, in terms of understanding the universe. But that's the way it is. It's a powerful tool. The danger of correlations is also that it can be terribly manipulative. Now, we all know the discourse of populists that, say, immigration leads to unemployment, right? So they'll take one statistic talking about immigration, they'll take another one talking about unemployment, and say, clearly these two things are causally related, right? That's one populist way of doing things. Or people having a certain religion, opening up their place of worship somewhere, and suddenly relating that to the rate of rape crimes in the country. Whatever you want, whatever you want. You can always find a correlation if you want it. This is terrible danger. And that's the way populists work today. Be very careful with correlations. Our teachers have to teach our children not to fall into that trap. Question correlations. And I'll show you how you can actually combine humor with a critical approach to correlations. I think if you combine both, you have a very, very strong way of fighting this curse that is latent in all of us, which is hatred. Look at this one. Number of people drowned by falling into a pool correlates with films Nicolas Cage appeared in. Isn't that lovely? Look at the correlation. It's almost 100%. If you did, if you did a Pierce correlation thing, you'd say, wow, look at that. We should stop Nicolas Cage from appearing in any movies because, people are drowning in pools. These are true numbers. These are true numbers. I'm not inventing anything. There is a complete correlation between the two. What's wrong with it? Makes no sense, does it? We know it makes no sense. But it's a correlation. It's big data. Let's take another one. Look at this. Apple iPhone sales correlates with people who died by falling down the stairs. Correlation 99. It's like the same curve. How could that be a coincidence? Clearly Apple is behind this. There's a conspiracy here. What are they doing? They're killing people. What are we going to do about it? Wow. And this one, consider this one. Wow, another one, Apple. Suicides by hanging, strangulation, suffocation. Look at that. 98. Do you need more evidence of the fact that Apple is the evil empire, causing death of people, falling down stairs and strangulation? Boycott Apple. Don't buy them anymore. Stop it. You will all be complicit in genocide by hanging, strangulation, suffocation. Look at that. Correlations. Wow. Get another one here. People who died by falling out of their wheelchair correlates with cost. Look at that. Look at that. 97. Stop eating potato chips. Who's behind this? So I think I made it very clear. Be very careful with correlations. Use that as teachers. Combine humor, common sense with these correlations. Because really, as George Bernard Shaw said, the least common of all is common sense. And we are forgetting that in this age of big data and correlations. This is what you need, you teachers. The daily dilemma, after the daily debate, and some meditation, and then run through these. Correlations are really made to wake up the latent hatred in all of us. So as I started, just one more, just one. This one I thought lovely, Collision with pedestrians or animals correlates with physical copies of video games sold in the UK. This is exactly the same curve. Stop video games. I could keep on, as you can see. These are absolutely fantastic, and I think they should be part of all school curricula. So as I started off by saying, this really says it all. And you, the teachers, you're really responsible for what goes in to the minds of our new generation. You're the ones. And you have to teach them that they are accountable. Because in this day and age, unfortunately, and I'll get back to the small presentation I gave yesterday, our role models are not accountable. Our role models, what our children want to be, is really startup billionaires at the age of 17 or something like that, which may be fine or may not be fine, but it's certainly not a very social role model. And do everything you can to shield yourself against accountability. It's always someone else's fault. That's the way, unfortunately, it works today. It's always someone else's fault. We need to teach our children existential accountability. And the best way to do that is by facing the daily dilemma. So I will leave you with these thoughts. And maybe we can have a discussion afterwards as to whether we should be, instead of Homo sapiens, Homo odiens, the only creature on earth cursed with the ability to hate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. You've always been a very remarkable speaker, and we've had great fans even last year. So if you want to catch up with more questions and answers with Dan, then AMA is the time that you must be here. Thank you. Okay, so why was the session shorter, Dan? Do you want to do the Q&A a little?
Sorry?
2 questions?
Questions?
2 questions?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. So 2 questions. Now you got to choose.
I have to choose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Who do I
actually, we just have
do I
2
want to kill
questions.
Charlie Chaplin or the 5? Or is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question over there, I see. Okay, there are 2 questions. So let's start over here. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I think you're going to
Can you
get
guys-
this.
You said only humans can hate, but as we see, all the mammals, as apes and lions, they hate the male one. They don't even allow them to enter their spheres. Isn't a part of hate?
The question of that, all this comes up either with the lions that eat the cubs
Mammals.
or with the hyenas. All of that can be explained as an instinctive defense of your own power in the tribe. It is not hatred, which is a conceptual entity that the mind entertains, which is abstract. It is not preserving yourself. It's not revenge. It's not territorial. It's not maintaining your position. Hatred is something different.
Hatred is an independent character.
And I would say lions, in that example, which always comes up, it's not hatred.
Is hatred an independent character?
Sorry?
Independent thing. Hatred is an independent thing. You say that? Hatred, feeling of hatred. You're saying that a feeling of hatred is an independent one.
Yes, it's an independent emotion,
Okay.
and which is one of the reasons why I like very much that Roy and his team did not identify that as an emotion on the learning platform, because in spite of the fact that it is an independent emotion, we certainly don't want the learning platform to arouse hatred. It should arouse anger and joy and the rest of it, because those are emotions that can be very helpful and that can be needed in certain situations, while hatred is a 100% negative emotion. There's nothing good to be said about it. Anger, yes. Joy, yes. Frustration, yes. Not hatred.
Right. Thank you.
Hi, Dan. Thank you for bringing such an important topic here. But I've been working with teachers, and what I observe is we as teachers do not bring in the topics which are controversial inside the classroom, and that's why children don't even get to discuss that. So it's like recently in India had a case of Babri Masjid and Ram Temple, and children have their own perceptions about it from their own households, whatever they are talking. There was never a discourse, and I was discussing that inside the school, and teachers said, no, we don't talk about such things. So you said debates. There will be debates, but they will never be on controversial topics, which will reduce hatred and increase acceptance. So how would that happen? How, as we
Yes.
teachers, can do that? Because management decides our...
I realized that's also why I didn't go into, more topical and local conflicts, because first of all, that would be controversial, and second, it would really not defeat the purpose of this presentation. We should keep it at the conceptual level. So what you're talking about here would maybe be a taboo subject. Maybe it would even create friction within different generations of the family, and so on and so forth, in the local environment. Of course, you should not expose children in the classroom to that kind of situation. Absolutely right. So keep it on the abstract. Keep it on the dilemma. This is something that will that will teach children to grow their sense of being accountable for their choices. I know I said it before, but that is really the exercise. You have to choose, and then nobody chose for you. These are the consequences. Now, there is a very interesting philosopher, Clifford, who developed what is called a special ethics of the duty of knowing all the facts before you act. So this is an ethical theory. I wouldn't say that I subscribe to that theory, because if you have to perform due diligence before you act, you will never act. And you cannot be blamed, and you should not be blamed for the unexpected consequences of your actions if they really are unexpected. But you should learn through education, through dilemmas, what are the consequences that can reasonably be expected? And those are the ones that you should be held accountable for. Not some sort of ethical, complicated, Clifford-based philosophy which will just create no action at all. So this is the kind of thing. There are limits to what you are accountable for. Of course there are. But within those limits, you are accountable. And that's what we can teach our children without speaking about the specific conflict. Okay. Oh, there's one more. Okay. Sorry? We'll take one more, yeah, if you want. Or what? Okay,
go ahead.
I can't hear you.
So now we have two questions.
Oh, we have two. Okay, wow. Oh, here he is. So we'll take it afterwards, right? So we'll take it afterwards. Is that it?
Yes, Dan.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, Dan. So keep noting down your questions. We have that section which is completely for engaging in such deliberations. So I don't really know, should I call you the next speaker or the presenter or a facilitator? So she is probably a 3-in-1 person who's coming in. Joanna Skorupska, she's the founder of Radicals, all-in-one studio that is pushing our society towards sustainable growth by using technology. So with a huge round of applause, please welcome Joanna. She's also bringing with her Futuro games and some volunteers. Thank you.
Where's the clicker? It's over here. Okay, great. No, it's fine. Thank you. Hi, hello. Shall we begin? Great. So, my name is Joanna, and I'm founder of Radicals, which already you could notice. And what I'm doing in my work, I implement technologies to serve human needs, human and environmental needs. And today, I'm going to take you on a journey into the future. So let's begin. But it doesn't work. Still. Okay? Okay. This is a countdown. This is the countdown till 2030. Why 2030? By 2030, we should deliver challenges described in United Nations documents, 17 Sustainable Development Goals. But unfortunately, on its current trajectory, the world will be unable to deliver those goals. Our biosphere is on a threat from rising carbon emission. Our society sees persistent inequality, basic services. Oh, sorry. Access denied. Our economy drives the unsustainable consumption of natural resources. Our generation desperately needs to redirect the world onto a sustainable path. And yes, we need to hurry up. Each of the 17 goals is broken down into targets. Out of 169 targets, 103 are directly influenced by technologies. But technology alone does not deliver impact. What matters is how we deploy and how we develop technologies. Because things we design end up designing us. As you could notice on the previous slide, there was a screen from the movie from the 80s. This is how we imagined VR technologies 20 years ago, and this is how it looks today. We need to have a clear vision and clear expectation among technologies. And we also have to see their role in the future, as the future is not to predict it, but to design. And what's even more, we need for this process a collaborative imagination, diverse and inclusive future scenarios, and we need to democratize this process. The future is not to be designed by you alone, we are all creating it. Today, I would like to create the future together with you and find out how to tame and harness technologies as a tool to tackle global challenges. And for that, we need a futuro. Futuro is a methodology hidden in a card game. It gives you a triple edge. You uncover the secret of technologies, you discover the trends that shape our future, and you design sustainable future scenarios. Futuro, as a deck of a card, is divided into 3 parts: sustainable development goals, trends, and technology. Now, it's time to experience Futuro. Hope you are ready for a journey into the future. A future journey, a future plan, need a prices goal, prices destination, a sustainable goal. Oh, sorry. So what is goal about? I choose SDG number 15, life on land. What this goal is about. Over the last 50 years, we have degraded 60% of world ecosystem, 60% and counting. That make us think, what if in the future, when we are planning infrastructure, what if we took into account their impact on our local ecosystems? Okay, now we know our goal, we know our destination. Now it's time to find the best route to go there. And this is when the trends comes into play. I choose for the gameplay, for the presentation, circular economy. To give you the example what circular economy is about, is a switch where we reconsider our resources and trying to keep them in a constant loop, rather than linear, just wasting them. Okay, we got the goal, we got the road, we got the trend. Now it's time to pick up technologies. Technologies as a vehicle that's going to bring us there. I choose technology. Oh, sorry. Smart dust. Smart dusts are microscopic devices that might be as small as a grain of sand. They are able to collect data and they communicate with each other. I also, for this scenario purpose, choose a card with a technology low-tech solution. Its low-tech solutions are easy and simple solutions that provide an alternative to high technologies. Okay, so let me recap. This is the frame. This is the frame for the future. We got a goal. We know our road, and we know the tools, the technologies that will help us to achieve this goal. So let me recap. Let me create, based on that, the story, the scenario. So I imagine that in the future, where I reach sustainable goal number 15, life on land, this is my destination, this is my goal. To accomplish that, I want to design self-sufficient infrastructure which protect the local ecosystem and only consume as much energy as it produces. Nothing is wasted. But before and now, I'm gonna ask you to join me for a game. I would like you to play a game, a Futuro game with me. But before we begin, I want to be sure that we are all on the same page, because you're going to use the knowledge of trends, of technology. So now, at the beginning, I will have to educate you a bit. As you could notice, I create a scenario. At the beginning, I choose goal, I choose trend, I pick up trend, and I pick 2 technologies. We have to switch the direction. And we're going to begin with technologies. I'm going to briefly get you through the 8 technologies I choose for this gameplay purpose. Let's begin. Emerging technologies. I don't know if you heard about Internet of Things. Great. So this is the concept, the idea that allows physical object connect to the internet. With all those devices can communicate with each other. And this is some kind of structure that allows sensors to communicate with each other. Next technology, I don't know if you heard about, for sure you heard about it. You know any kind of implication of mixed reality? This is a kind of a digital layer that we apply on our physical environment. Real-time language translation. That's technology that allows to translate text and speech into different languages in the real time. 5G, next generation network that let, for example, autonomous vehicles to communicate with each other. Brain-to-computer interfaces, that technology that allows to communicate to communicate humans or animals with the machine with an external tech. Biochips. Biochips are kind of microchips designed to function inside of our body. And digital twin. Digital twin is a fully mapped digital representation of something physical, something tangible. And the last, it's not the last one, that's the exoskeleton. That's the technology, there's a kind of wearables device that is used to enhance our motion and physical abilities. So usually the Futuro is a deck of a card, but because today there are so many of you, I had to digitalize it. And in the second, you're gonna get the access to the mobile version of a Futuro, but I'm gonna ask you to scroll down to the website, and you will have an access to the database library with the case studies which describe each technology I just briefly presented you. So please pick up your phones. Great. And type in your browser the address futuro.card/UNESCO MGAP. Sorry, because of the light, I cannot see. Does it work? Please raise your hand if it works. You got it? Great. Only 2 hands. Not enough. Okay. We got it here, we got it here. If you don't have a phone, please turn the person on your left and right and share. Sharing is caring, right? Okay, step number 3. Scroll down to the bottom of the website and find the level with technologies. Pick 2, 3, up to you. How many you like technologies you like the most from those 8 I just described? And please read their description. You have 2.5 minutes for that. Timer's up. Once again, or everything is clear, or once again? Okay, let's do it again, no problem. Pick up your phone, type in your browser this address, www.futuro.card/. You got it? Please, who has a problem, please raise your hand. We have volunteers on the stage, so they can help you with that. Anyone needs help, please raise hands. Please, volunteers, if you could help. Sorry, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Yeah, please read the case study, because the purpose of this activity is to familiar you with those technology, with the possible implication of those technology, what kind of possibilities they have, how they can be implemented. So once again, if you are already on a website, please find the level with technologies, scroll down to the bottom of the website, pick 2, 3, up to you, how many, and read the case studies. Timer is on, so I hope 2.5 minutes is enough for you. How is it going? Okay. Yeah. If anyone needs help, please raise your hand. We have volunteers here to help you. Okay, 20 seconds left. 15 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, we're done. We have to move forward because there is still a lot of work to do. So if now you are an expert in technology, as you already read about it, I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. I'm going to ask you to use imagination and came up with a vision, with a story, with a speculation, how in the future you imagine those technology, you just read about it, will influence very personal activity. And I'm more than sure that all of you experience it once in your lifetime. It's a dentist appointment. So I'm going to ask you to come up with a story, how you imagine one of those technology that you just read about will change the way we are visiting our dentist. To inspire you, I'm going to show you the video of my student who came up with his own future vision of that. Oh, we don't have sound. Still nothing.
In the future, it would be used by your dentist, and he would show you. I think digital twin is a brilliant technology. I imagine that in the future it would be used by your dentist, and he would show you what would happen if you don't brush teeth or to eat too much sweets.
You remember, digital twin technology is a digital representation of something which is physical, right? So now I'm going to ask you this. Oh, sorry, one more thing. The methodology behind this activity is called B-association. What B-association is about? If you put two things together that at the beginning you thought have nothing in common, you came up with a very unique idea, very creative one. So now I'm going to ask you to turn left. If there is no one on your left, just turn right. And smile a little to the person on your left and share your story, share your future vision, how you imagine those technologies will change the way we are visiting our dentist in the future. And you have 4 minutes for that. Smile to the person, introduce yourself, and share the story, share your vision. 4 minutes. 2 minutes left. One minute left. Twenty seconds. Okay, we're done. We have to move forward. If you still want to discuss. Thanks, we are done here. We have to move forward. There is still a lot of work to do, so. It's not over. It's not over. Okay, it's a big applause for you. And now we're going to do the same with the trends. I pick 4 trends for this presentation purpose, always connected, which refers to the continuous internet connection. We are constantly connected. We have our phones in our hands, our devices connect with each other. Radical hyper-personalization. There is a growing demand of a product and services that need to be personalized as much as possible. Radical transparency. There is a growing expectation for institutions and brands to be open and transparent about the inner process. This includes working condition, environmental impact. And I really would like to pay your attention to the strength that refer to the practice of building electronic devices, website, and digital product in a way that it takes into account their environmental impact. I don't know if you were aware, but 10 pictures uploaded on the Instagram generate the same amount of the carbon emission while you are driving 1 kilometer of a car. So this is what we call digital carbon footprint. So once again, I'm going to ask you to look at the website, type in the address, scroll down to the bottom, find trends, pick just one that you like the most, read case studies, read its description, and you have 2 minutes for that. 20 seconds. Five seconds. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. But this time, let's speculate about the broader topic. Let's find out, let's imagine how in the future those trends might change the healthcare. So this time, I'm going to ask you to turn right, as you already turned left, and smile to the person, and again, share your story, share your future vision, how you imagine those one trends that you just read about might change the healthcare in the future. And you have 4 minutes for that. Fifteen seconds. Okay, we're done. Hope you are done. Can we move forward? You ready? Great. Okay, so now we can say you are an expert in the field of technology and trends, and you're going to use this knowledge to create your very own future scenario. But the future scenario needs a goal. So what about make it a sustainable development goal? For this session purpose, I choose 4 of them out of 17: quality education, gender equality, climate action, responsible consumption and production. And once again, you have an access to the library with case studies, but listen to me, do not look at your phone yet, because I'm going to describe you the next steps. This is the moment when you're going to come up with your scenarios. So I'm going to ask you to choose one sustainable goal, the one which resonates with your heart the most, the one which is the most important for you. Choose the goal. Choose the goal for your future that you're gonna create in a second. Select max 2 trends, pick 2 or 3 technologies, and came up with a scenario. Just like I told you at the beginning, the process of designing of the future needs collaborative imagination. That's why I would like you to upload your scenarios on the website. If you're gonna again go at the website, you will find there the asset scenario uploader. Write down right at the top. You can write your name. You can write the title of your scenario. Whatever, it's up to you. Choose the goal. Choose it here on the screen. But there is a plot twist. You're going to work that on the groups. And this is a very challenging moment, because right now I'm going to ask you to form a group of 10. We on the stage have volunteers. They are on the, hey, wave your hands. Volunteers, raise your hands. So they're going to help you to regroup yourself. What I'm going to ask you to do is, first row, if you could turn around. And the 3rd row, turn around to the 4th one. The 5th one, turn around to the 6th one. The volunteers, they're going to help you with that. We need to have a group of 10 who's going to work on the scenario. It's going to be a bit messy, but we're going to make it. Please collaborate. You can move the chair around, please. Please do it. Turn them around. You have to look at your face. Please. Make a group of 10. Do we have a group over there? We have a group over there. Yeah, we got it. Can we display the website in the middle? Website. Website in the middle, yes. Thank you. Those are your scenarios. But I would like you to... Okay, I will wait till we all will be grouped. Is it okay if we Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. They already group all of them.
Yeah, we made everybody into groups. It's all okay.
Great. Okay, because from I cannot see because I have light in my eyes and
We could see people are facing each other.
That's great. Okay.
They formed big groups. That's it.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. Also on the stage we have volunteers who will help you if at some point you'll feel blocked, you'll feel stuck. Please raise your hand. There are people around here who are really willing to help you with the process. So now I'm going to ask you to, again, use your imagination, enjoy the game, and once again, you have to pick up one trend, one goal, one sustainable goal, select max 2 trends, pick 2, 3 technologies, create and upload your future scenario. And all your scenarios gonna be displayed on the screen here. Enjoy the game. Yeah. No. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Maybe we could see what's happening on the screen.
Oh.
And then we will see how they.
Once they upload, it shows on the screen.
Yeah.
I think you've not mentioned to them about choosing a spokesperson, like someone to take charge of. Like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry. And sorry, but I forget to add that you have to pick one person in your group who is going to be responsible for uploading the scenario. Okay? They're going to manage that.
Did anyone listen?
I don't think so. They're already working. Yeah.
To pick a single person to represent them.
Sorry.
You have to tell some person in the group to represent them at the end.
Okay.
Like
No,
you wanted something, right?
Yeah. I want to.
Each one,
No.
from the group to represent.
Oh, that would be awesome if they could present.
If you ask,
No,
Yeah.
if it's fine.
We have a microphone that we could share with them.
Yes, we can give
Yeah. Okay.
the mic for each.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we could.
Summarize
Okay.
everything what they discussed.
Okay. Yeah.
Go individually and tell each group.
otherwise you could ask like if any group is ready to just voluntarily talk about it, like somebody will raise
Yeah.
up the group.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
One person from
Yeah. One. Yeah. I will. Let's give. Yeah. Let's give the group let's give them like 10 minutes to work on that, and then.
No, not all groups could talk, man. So just
Yeah.
ask
Yeah. Who is willing? Yeah. Who is ready? Yeah. Because we could also, because I have prepared like samples of Futuro, and we could maybe one team who is willing to present their scenario on the stage.
So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
ask like if you are ready.
Who's exactly.
We can't ask each and everything, but at least some team who are which team has that would work out.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. How was it?
That seemed to work pretty well.
I don't know. I was on the stage, so. Hi, hello. 5 minutes left, so upload as many scenarios you just came into your mind. I'm going to share them later on the website, so you all will have an access to them. Okay, 4 minutes left, and I would like one brave group to present they over there. Okay, we got it. So if you could go on the stage and present your scenario for the others. Oh my God, this one is good. Great. Like 4 minutes for, I mean, because I don't want to. Scenario right now. Okay, we have one group who would like to present you the future vision. So what was your goal?
Can you
If we could scroll down or scroll up, or
can you scroll either up or down and find the entry
Team
that
group.
says Team 14?
Team 14?
Team 14 because
14.
we're 14 members.
Only one microphone.
The second one. There's another one that says Team 14 because we're 14
Okay.
members. Because we're 14 members. We have 3. No,
Scroll
no, it's
down.
fine. No, no.
I guess
Keep
it-
going.
Maybe you remember your scenario or what
Keep
you
going.
work on it? Yeah, here we go again.
the
Here we
same
go.
thing again and
Here. If you could present it. Great. Okay, it's enough. I mean, You also purchased? Okay, we got it. Oh, we found it.
Okay, so we actually had two posts. The first one was for the SDG quality education, and we were looking at two broad trends. One was being always connected, and the second one was hyper-personalization, which for us immediately spoke to differentiation in a classroom, allowing learners to pick the mode of learning that was most suitable to them. And then we also looked at tools like Internet of Things, for example, that allowed students to then explore physical objects as well, but upon touch, being able to sort of practically understand something versus having to read about it and learn about it in that fashion. We also talked about how hyperpersonalization allows kids to just pick whatever they wanted. Can you scroll up a little bit? It's gone down. And yeah. And also the idea of augmented reality supported with Internet of Things that would then allow you to virtually imagine and sort of work with learning, especially when you look at science and math learning. So
Great. Thank
that
you.
was our quality education classroom.
Thank you so much. Big applause. Thank you.
Do you want to do a second one?
We have a second group who want to present. So, okay, so we can, so thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we have like next volunteers who want to present.
There's a second game. Yeah, program.
Okay. But that's the second one, and we have to, unfortunately, we have to finish the gameplay. Which scenario is yours?
My scenario.
So could you go over there and tell them where to scroll? You found it? Yeah? Great.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, that's our story. It's based on Pradyun. So it's based on changing. It's not basically changing the whole system, but we would like to use MR in the education system so that basically I'm from class 11. I'm pursuing science, and we use chalk pieces and 4 or 5 pens to represent pi bonds and sigma bonds in carbon, organic chemistry. So if you use MR, it's better to visualize so that people will understand easily the different planes in which the carbons are there and all. So that it'll be easier for the students, and it'll be a better learning for students. It's not just mugging up and getting into IIT or something. So that will learn the basics in it and we'll get the passion to work on it. So that's a basic thing. And we use 5G because we need internet for using MR, right? So it'll be helpful for us. And we also use this always connected because we need to connect with students from other countries so that we'll get a global exposure and all. It will be helpful for students to communicate and many other things. Yeah, that's what our story is basically about. And
okay, thank you.
So thank you, Pradyun. And we have a couple of students here. So our average age actually comes to around 20 now. So I'm happy with that.
Thank you. Thank you. We have to finish the session. Sorry.
Fine. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your collaboration. Unfortunately, we're running out of the time, so we have to finish up. And please listen to me for a second, for the last second. You will get an access to all those scenarios on the website. I will upload them. Go and use them. Go and implement them in your life. And to sum up, I work a lot with the companies, with the future, doing a future foresight, and then they constantly asking me how to prepare yourself for the future. And there is one answer for that, and one clean answer, that just a human, because the future is all about us humans. And that's all. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you, Joanna, and thank you, audience. You were quite excited. I mean, honestly, the last 40, 45 minutes, we could see that you were captivated, and I'm glad you participated in the manner that you did. So now we are breaking for the AMA. I've spoken about it many a times, but a reiteration, it's Ask Me Anything. So we will invite the catalytic speakers from all the sessions from today. Unfortunately, Dr. Richard Davidson had to leave, so he will not be available. But other than him, the rest of the speakers will be available. So the Ask Me Anything AMA session is going to happen right outside in the corals. If you have questions to ask, then this is the perfect time. And hope to see all of you back tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night. Enjoy. Have a good sleep and see you back again. Bye-bye.